Here are the most recent deaths in the national news, as reported at Legacy.com the 5th week of January 2024. Legacy.com is where you can find any obituary or publish an obituary in any newspaper in America and beyond. Actress Sandra Milo died January 29, 2024, in Rome at the age of 90. She starred in Federico Fellini's films 8½, and Juliet of the Spirits, winning Nastro d'Argento awards for both performances. Milo is also being remembered for her work in the films of director Roberto Rossellini, as well as for her singing career. A note to remember, sometimes personal information, such as someone's cause of death, is not announced immediately by their family or the authorities. When a cause of death has not been officially announced, we do not report on rumors. Every family has a right to their privacy. Actor, singer, and dancer Hinton Battle died January 30th, 2024 at a hospital in Los Angeles. He died after a long illness at the age of 67. He was a Broadway star who won 3 Tony Awards and originated the role of the Scarecrow in The Wiz. Battle is also being remembered for his TV work. He played the dancing demon Sweet on the memorable musical episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and appeared in such shows as Quantum Leap and Touched by an Angel. Singer and songwriter Margo Smith died January 23, 2024, in Nashville, Tennessee. She died after suffering a stroke at the age of 84. She had #1 country music hits in the 1970s with Don't Break the Heart That Loves You and It Only Hurts a Little While. Smith is being remembered as the Tennessee yodeler for her yodeling vocal style. U.S. Army veteran Roger Donlon died January 25, 2024 in Leavenworth, Kansas at the age of 89. He joined the Army in 1958 and served for 30 years until his retirement as colonel in 1988. In 1964, he became the first recipient of the Medal of Honor from the Vietnam War, honored for his valor during the Battle of Nam Dong. Donlon is being remembered for his determination to keep his fellow soldiers safe, even as he was severely injured himself. U.S. Army veteran Larry Taylor died January 28, 2024, at his home in Signal Mountain, Tennessee, at the age of 81. He served in the Vietnam War as an Army aviator, making more than 2,000 combat flights in 1967 and 1968. One of those flights was a daring rescue in which he transported a 4-man recon team out of enemy territory by having them cling to the skids of his Cobra helicopter, for which he was initially honored with a Silver Star. Taylor is being remembered as the most recent recipient of the Medal of Honor. Just last year, he was belatedly given the U.S. military's highest decoration in recognition of his valor that day in 1968. Attorney Harry Connick Sr. died January 24, 2024, in New Orleans. He died of natural causes at the age of 97. He was the longtime district attorney of New Orleans, serving from 1973 to 2003. He is also being remembered as the father of singer and actor Harry Connick Jr. Like his son, he was also a musician, sometimes called the singing district attorney for performing in New Orleans nightclubs. Connick was a U.S. Navy veteran of World War II. Melinda Wilson died January 30, 2024, at her home in Beverly Hills, California, at the age of 77. She was the wife of Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys. They met in 1986 while she was working at a car dealership and married in 1995. Wilson is being remembered for helping her husband get necessary mental health care and restart his musical career in the 90s. Actress Amanda Davies died in January 2024 at the age of 42. She was the daughter of soap opera legend Erica Slezak. Davies is being remembered for appearing on One Life to Live, playing her mother's character, Vicki Lord, in flashbacks to her teen years. Director Rod Holcomb died January 24, 2024, in Los Angeles. He died after a long illness at the age of 80. He won a Directors Guild Award for directing the series pilot of ER, and he won an Emmy Award for directing the show's series finale 15 years later. Holcomb is also being remembered for directing episodes of such TV shows as Lost, China Beach, The West Wing, Battlestar Galactica, and many others. Entrepreneur Gerald Jerry McGinnis died January 25, 2024, in Plumboro, Ohio. He died of complications from Parkinson's disease at the age of 89. He invented the first continuous positive airway pressure machine, or CPAP, building the first prototypes at home in his kitchen. McGinnis is being remembered for improving the lives of countless people with sleep apnea. Author N. Scott Momaday died January 24, 2024, in Santa Fe, New Mexico, at the age of 89. As a Kiowa author, he was the first Native American writer to win a Pulitzer Prize. He won in 1969 for his novel Housemaid of Dawn. Momaday is being remembered for helping spark the Native American Renaissance movement in literature and for his long career as a professor. Baseball manager Jimy Williams died January 26, 2024, in Tarpon Springs, Florida. He died after a brief illness at the age of 80. He was a manager for major league teams like the Boston Red Sox and Houston Astros, named Manager of the Year in 1999. Williams is also being remembered as a coach for such teams as the Toronto Blue Jays, Atlanta Braves, and Philadelphia Phillies. Photographer Brian Griffin died January 29, 2024, in his sleep at the age of 75. His photos were iconic to 80s music fans as they appeared on album covers by Depeche Mode, Billy Idol, Elvis Costello, and many more. Griffin is being remembered as Photographer of the Decade for the 1980s, a title given to him by The Guardian. Author and politician Jean Carnahan died January 30, 2024, at a hospice facility in St. Louis County, Missouri. She died after a brief illness at the age of 90. She was the First Lady of Missouri before being unexpectedly called upon to serve as the first female U.S. Senator from Missouri after her husband died just weeks before the election he was running in. Carnahan is also being remembered for writing books about Missouri history and other topics, as well as for her food blog. Runner Dick Traum died January 23, 2024, in New York City. He died after a heart attack at the age of 83. He was a pioneer among disabled athletes. He was the first known person to run a marathon on a prosthetic leg, completing the New York City Marathon in 1976 and more than 70 others after that. Traum is being remembered for founding Achilles International, an organization that supports and trains people with disabilities to participate in athletics. He was named a CNN Hero in 2012. Football player Terry Beasley died January 31, 2024, at his home in Moody, Alabama, at the age of 73. He was a college football legend at Auburn in the 60s and 70s, a wide receiver who went on to play for the San Francisco 49ers in a brief professional career. Beasley is being remembered as a two-time All-American and one of only 3 Auburn players to have their numbers retired. Actress, dancer, and singer Chita Rivera died January 30, 2024, at the age of 91. She originated some of the great Broadway roles, like Anita in West Side Story, Rosie in Bye Bye Birdie, and Velma in Chicago. Rivera is being remembered as a Broadway legend who was nominated for a record-setting 10 Tony Awards, winning twice. Three U.S. Army Reserve soldiers were killed in a drone attack in Jordan on January 28, 2024. Their names are Specialist Brianna Moffett, Sergeant William Rivers, Specialist Kennedy Sanders. In addition to featuring current deaths in the news, Legacy.com also honors the lives and legacies of notable people who died in the past. Here are some of this week's anniversaries. 5 years ago this week, singer and songwriter James Ingram died at the age of 66. His hits included Baby Come to Me and Somewhere Out There. 10 years ago this week, actor Philip Seymour Hoffman died at the age of 46. He won an Academy Award for Capote and starred in films like Charlie Wilson's War and Doubt. 10 years ago this week, musician and songwriter Pete Seeger died at the age of 94. He was a folk music great who wrote such songs as Where Have All the Flowers Gone and Turn, Turn, Turn. 18 years ago this week, civil rights activist Coretta Scott King died at the age of 78. The widow of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., she carried on his legacy for decades after his death as she fought for equal rights for all. This week in history marks a doubly tragic anniversary for the American space program. 21 years ago this week, Space Shuttle Columbia was destroyed while re-entering the atmosphere. The disaster took the lives of astronauts Rick Husband, William C. McCool, Michael P. Anderson, Kalpana Chawla, David M. Brown, Laurel Clark, and Elon Ramon. 17 years to the week before the Columbia disaster, in 1986, the Space Shuttle Challenger exploded shortly after liftoff, taking the lives of 6 astronauts and the first participant in the Teacher in Space project. Their names were F. Richard Scobie, Michael J. Smith, Ronald McNair, Ellison Onizuka, Judith Resnick, Gregory Jarvis, and Krista McAuliffe. Actor Brandon Lee was born 59 years ago this week. He died in March 1993 at the age of 28. The son of actor and martial arts legend Bruce Lee, he followed in his father's footsteps when he starred in The Crow. Singer Janie Lane was born 60 years ago this week. He died in August 2011 at the age of 47. He was the lead singer and songwriter for the glam metal band Warrant, known for hits like Heaven and Cherry Pie. Actor John Dye was born 61 years ago this week. He died in January 2011 at the age of 47. He was best known for his starring role in the TV show Touched by an Angel. Actress Farrah Fawcett was born 77 years ago this week. She died in June 2009 at the age of 62. She was a 1970s icon as she starred in Charlie's Angels and was featured in a beloved pinup poster. Every week in the United States, flags are lowered to half-staff to honor the lives of Americans whose communities are mourning their loss. Here are the most recent half-staff memorial flag honors. Flags in Massachusetts have been lowered to honor the memory of U.S. Navy Petty Officer Second Class Merle Chester Joseph Hillman, who was killed during the attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941. His remains were recently identified and returned home for burial. Flags in Arizona have been lowered to honor the memory of Safford Mayor Jason Couts. Flags in Washington have been lowered to honor the memory of Walla Walla County engineer Ryan Pleasance. Flags in Maryland have been lowered to honor the memory of U.S. Navy Special Warfare Operator First Class Christopher J. Chambers, who died in the line of duty. Flags in Hawaii have been lowered to honor the memory of former Hawaii County Mayor Billy Kenoi. Flags in New York have been lowered to honor the memory of State Department of Environmental Conservation Police Lieutenant David J. McShane, who died of a 9/11-related illness after his work in search and recovery at the World Trade Center. Flags in New York have also been lowered to honor the memory of Fairville volunteer firefighter Dan DeWolf, who died in the line of duty. Flags in Michigan have been lowered to honor the memory of State Police Trooper Joel Popp, who died in the line of duty. Flags in New Jersey have been lowered to honor the memory of Plainfield firefighter Marquise Hudson, who died in the line of duty. Flags in Wyoming have been lowered to honor the memory of Bobby Barrasso, wife of U.S. Senator John Barrasso. You can read more about the lives of the people featured in this video on Legacy.com. At Legacy.com, any family can publish an obituary in honor of a loved one's memory online and in local newspapers everywhere. Just visit Legacy.com and select your local community. You can also follow Legacy.com on Facebook and subscribe to our channel here on YouTube to stay up to date on national news deaths.